All right, let's jump right into your pronunciation diagnostic. What we're going to do here is give you a really direct, data-driven breakdown based on that recording you sent over. The goal is to pinpoint exactly what you can focus on to really level up your speech. So, let's get into it.
So here's the plan. We're going to start with your high-level overall score. From there, we'll drill down into the individual sounds, what we call phonemes, and then we'll wrap up by looking at how those specific sounds show up in some of the words from your script.
Okay, first up, let's talk about that comprehensive evaluation score.
Based on the analysis, your overall score is a 72 out of 100. And right off the bat, I want to say that this is a really solid foundation. It means your speech is definitely clear and very understandable.
So, what goes into that 72? Well, your overall clarity is high, no question. Your pacing and intonation are also great. Everything flows naturally, and it's very easy for a listener to follow along. The main area for improvement, and really what the rest of this diagnostic is all about, is in fine-tuning a few key vowel and consonant sounds that are a little different from a standard American accent. So let's break those down.
Now we're moving on to the phoneme analysis. You could think of phonemes as the individual building blocks of speech. This is where we get into the real nitty-gritty of your pronunciation.
Okay, this slide is really the heart of it all. We've laid out the sounds, starting with the ones that present the biggest opportunity. Right at the top, we have the American R sound. In words like radar and researchers, it's just a little bit weak. Next up is the L sound. Now, what's interesting here is you make a really clear light L at the start of syllables, but the dark L at the end, like in the word global, gets a little less distinct. Then there's the V sound, which sometimes comes out closer to a B sound, like in aviation. It's a similar story with the TH sound, the sound, which can lean a bit towards a D, especially in a word like with. As for vowels, the A in a word like traffic could be a bit more open. And finally, the distinction between the short I in is and the long E in these can sometimes be a little blurry.
So, knowing the individual sounds is one thing, but the real key is seeing how those patterns actually pop up in real words. And that brings us to our final section, a list of the top 10 words from your script that would be great to focus on.
And this slide right here is where it all clicks into place. Look at radar at the top of the list. It's the perfect showcase of that tricky R sound we just talked about. In collaborative, you can hear that less distinct, dark L, and there's also a little something with the syllable stress. Researchers is another fantastic example, with two R sounds that could be a bit stronger. Then you see surveillance and aviation, which are perfect examples of that V sound we mentioned. The word with is exactly where that the sound sometimes shifts to a D. And traffic, of course, highlights that A vowel. You see? Each one of these words is a concrete target that lets you practice those specific sound patterns we found on the last slide. And that pretty much wraps up this pronunciation diagnostic. The information on these slides should give you a really clear, focused path for what to practice next. If you target these specific sounds and words, you'll be able to make some pretty significant and efficient progress. Best of luck with your practice.